Han Solo from Return of the Jedi dropped by Hot Toys out of nowhere. More reports of UFO sightings at the same time last week. Secret insider information of even more related action figures from Hot Toys on the way, including more disclosure of alien contact. So you have to ask yourself, is it possible that Hot Toys and otherworldly beings are collaborating together to give humanity the absolute best in action figure collecting? Wait a minute. I'm getting a call. Could it be from one of these extraterrestrials? Let's ask them if they're conspiring with Hot Toys. Hello? 13th Crystal Skull. Listen, I thought you said you were bringing the Bespin Han to planet Earth. You have decided to bring the Return of the Jedi Han. But last year, 2023, was the anniversary, the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. And then you just decide a few weeks later to drop a Return of the Jedi Han? And you got even more from Return of the Jedi coming? You have merged with the other 12 skulls. So, why am I not in a higher state of consciousness then? Well, no, I'd rather have more Hot Toys than reach a higher state of consciousness. Yeah, well, I am grateful. Yeah, so well, then tell me about the skull. Skull. Number 1 on Sideshow already? More on the way? Could Prisoner Leia be one of them? What the heck is in this coffee? And is this the 13th skull? Let's go ahead and dive into this epicness, baby. Right now. All right, and welcome everyone to the Aries Harrington Show right here at 6 Scale Cantina. This show will be a live show from time to time during 2024, so make sure you subscribe right now to 6 Scale Cantina so you can be notified when I will be going live. Wow, diving right into this. Let me tell you something, baby. When this was announced a couple of days ago, I literally spilled my coffee all over the cantina floor. Listen, I'm kind of treading water right now. It's kind of like I'm Aquaman. That's why I'm just so cool, not shaking, because I just, I'm really good at swimming, especially in coffee. But you have to ask yourself, do I think that this Han Solo is absolutely sensational? And I say yes. So let's go ahead and first dive into my first impressions of this figure right now with you. And I purposely didn't really dive into the whole look of this thing. until I was going to be able to either go live or talk about this with all of you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. And when you talk about being able to capture Howard Chan and Hot Toys, the likeness of Harrison Ford in Return of the Jedi, I am completely astonished at the quality of work that they were able to do to capture Harrison Ford and Han Solo from that film. I mean, this looks absolutely spot on, crazy good. And, from time to time in this video, as we're talking about this, I'll be flashing on the older versions of Han Solo, including the Force Awakens one, but certainly the Han Solo Trooper Disguise and the Han Solo from A New Hope regular, both from A New Hope from Hot Toys. And this is like the Luke DX24, DX25, an astonishing upgrade from those prior Han Solos. And listen, my friends, I purposely stayed away from listening to anybody's opinion on this Han Solo. I didn't really look at the comments on Facebook, but I can just imagine what is out there as we talk about this figure. And one thing I want to point out is Han Solo had poofy hair like this in Return of the Jedi, had that kind of curved style from the side of his hair down throughout the whole film. And I'm going to bring and share some of this on the screen so you could go ahead and take a look at exactly what I'm talking about. So this is Han from Return of the Jedi, which is a stark contrast from the other two films. You can see in this picture right here with Leia and Luke that the sides of his hair are more poofed out, bowl, if you will, instead of more trimmed on the sides than the other films. I'm going to pull out more as I continue to dive and show you in here. Here's another picture of Han from Return of the Jedi, and you see a very full, suave hair, not only with the bangs, but particularly on the sides of the head as it goes. And let's go ahead and go to more of Han Solo from here. This is a really good example as well. You could see that whole almost curved kind of look there as well. I'm telling you, what Hot Toys does is they make it as close as they can to the film. And of course, he's out in the forest. And during the story, obviously, he's on Endor. And he's wearing the trench coat. And sometimes he has it on. And sometimes he has it off. And you've got the wind factor. And you've got all different things. And Hot Toys not only has to try and capture one exact moment from the film, but perhaps the whole essence of the character from all aspects of the film. And it is just, to me, an outstanding job. But I'm sure, as there's some others out there, maybe not as deep of Star Wars fans as some of us others, that relate Han to, here's his A New Hope look, more trim on the side, not as poofy, younger as well, not as suave. It's going to be a stark difference than what we got before from Hot Toys, not only from the original regular outfit of Han Solo from A New Hope, but also from when he was in the Stormtrooper disguise on the first Death Star as well, during the A New Hope first Star Wars movie also. And then going back to this up here on the screen in light of what I'm showing you there, and from somebody who is an absolute crazy Star Wars fanatic, this thing is absolutely beautiful. And to me, spot on perfection. Look at the detail on this head sculpt as I blow it up for you. And you look at it on the screen right now. I mean, when you look at the details on his skin, with the hair from Return of the Jedi, with the eyes, and not to mention that this is also rolling eyes function. It is an astonishing upgrade from the first couple of releases. And this is no joke. This is not, I'm a Star Wars fan and I want this to be good. This is way better than what we got before. I'm just being completely honest with you. I mean, look at this. Look at this. This is like a shot from the film. In that classic pose, that is absolutely fantastic and crazy. And look at this right here. Wow. So Endorish and absolutely beautiful. Separate rolling eyeballs. And I love the hair sculpt on this. Absolutely love it. I wish they would have gave us a couple of more options with hair sculpts. Look at that. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dark Jedi is just... And again, I apologize. I wasn't able to kind of share and spill my coffee with all of you. I wasn't able to go live. I wasn't able to go on my friend Jay, brother cousin show on Thursday to talk about it. Was trying to do something Friday. Oh, look at that. My God. I mean, that's like a still... That's like a shot. That is like a shot. A photo op of Harrison Ford. So look, I don't even know what Brother Cousin's opinion is yet. I wasn't able to watch anything. I would have watched his. I didn't have time. Others, I purposefully did not. But I'm giving you my honest opinion, baby. And let me tell you, I'm going to use data to show you what the overall opinion of this head sculpt and this figure is as well. We're going to be diving into that with this next part. I love you get the trench coat option. Look at this base. God, how many of you missed the sand base with the footprints? I am so grateful to Howard Chad for kind of upgrading here. Upgrading to this. This is like so freaking fantastic that we got Han Solo. I'm just being honest with you here. If I was disappointed, I couldn't fake it. And I'm not acting it out right here. I mean, like I said, I'm really diving into this the first time. This is so fracking cool. Look at that. It is so fracking good. Like I said, I don't know what everybody's opinion is, but if you're hoping for an opinion like this, congratulations. 2 styles of look. Thank you, Howard, JC Hong, and Hot Toys. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's look at this. Let's look at what it comes with. Separate rolling eyeballs, 2 styles of look, newly sculpted hands with natural details, which is absolutely another step up. Look at that. Okay, we know what other companies are doing that in higher details, and we're calling them out on the innovation. Hot Toys stepping up there. For sure. And look, those pants, they look kind of familiar from when something else was teased with the Bespin Leia from some time ago. Environmental figure base. I just love what they're doing with bases now. I absolutely love what they're doing with bases now. This is a good figure. And we've got a lot to dive into with this. And first, let's look at the price as we get into the market aspects and some of the method behind Hot Toys madness with this. So I believe this is $290. So I'm going to pull it up. $290 for a Han Solo with rolling eyes function. Are you kidding me? When you talk about a company that has every right to go with inflation, like many other companies, and are, because of the volatile state of the global economy, I've got to hand it to Hot Toys for keeping these prices, some of them, under $300 with everything that they're giving us here. I don't know how much longer, with the cost of raw materials and supply chain in general, that this can continue. But I am so grateful to get a figure like this at $290. Now, when you talk about, I don't know what anybody really thinks of this figure, I'm going to tell you, listen, who listens? Whoever was on live this week, and they had 50 people on, 80 people on, 100 people on. The most it ever gets is 160, maybe 200, unless one of the big wigs gets on and it's like 300 or 400. That is such a small sampling. You know, you talk about the U.S. Census Bureau, that wouldn't even be enough of a sampling to really have a survey of what the real opinion is. And fortunately or unfortunately, a lot of times with those small little communities, the sampling could be skewed and not entirely realistic and accurate to the overall consensus of the desire and appeal for something. And I'll tell you right now, and I knew that this was going to happen as I go ahead and pull up everything best-selling wise on Sideshow. Okay, this just came out, and usually it takes several days, a week and a half to really get a tabulation on where something is. And how did this do? How exactly is this doing? And listen, I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm recording this now. It's on a Sunday, but I already looked at this like Saturday and Friday, and wow, at least I think on Friday, and number one already on Sideshow is this Han Solo figure. So you have to ask yourself, is it possible that the consumer's opinion has been spoken? And I say, yes. Put your darn money where your mouth is. And right now, number one, so fast, so quickly. And let me tell you, again, everybody could be praising this figure for all I know. Again, I don't know. I'm really giving you my sense of this particular figure. I think I may have saw one banner when this first came out of something like fail with a question mark or epic fail, and it almost made me chuckle because a lot of times that's for shock or somebody, again, who just doesn't understand what Harrison Ford was looking like in certain parts of this particular film, Return of the Jedi. But number one, and this is not a shock, so let's talk about this as this is up on the screen. Is this a shock to Hot Toys and Sideshow? This data, this trend right here, right now, is this a shock to Hot Toys and Sideshow? And I say no. Then Aries, why didn't they just put out this figure in 2023 with the 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi? And I think the answer or one of the answers to that is something that I have talked about quite a bit the last couple of months. And that is they put out 100 plus. I'm not talking about releases. I'm talking about announcements, baby. They announced 100 plus new figures in 2023. And many of those figures were related to new films from 2023. Okay? New IPs and licenses from 2023. All right? Television shows from 2023. And there just wasn't enough space. It was crowded. It was congested. You know, I've mentioned this before, but have you ever got so congested that you just had to blow your nose? And think of it like that. And honestly, it makes sense. They know. Look, the new Flash with that hair, I don't think it ever made it to number one like this figure did. They know that this figure is going to absolutely make them more money than that Flash figure with the long hair, the younger Flash from the Flash movie. Not only does Hot Toys knows it, Sideshow knows it, and not only does Hot Toys and Sideshow know it, but Disney sure as frack, who gets the royalties and part of the money from this, knows that they will make more of it as well. So it makes perfect sense to me that this is coming now, because we just couldn't fit. It was too congested for many reasons. For many reasons. Not to mention our wallets to come out in 2023. The other thing is 2024 right here. You know, are we going to be getting? Is this the start of like crazy stuff? And honestly, I think it started even before, though during the holidays, but right before Christmas and New Year's, with the Ben Affleck Batman from Batman vs. Superman, a film from some time ago already. You're going to be seeing perhaps more of that, and a lot more of that in 2024, because there's just not as many, in any way, shape, or form, as many films and as many television shows in 2024 as there was in 2023. And you have to wonder, is it possible that Hot Toys is saving a lot of big sellers, big blockbuster characters, versions of characters like this Han Solo you're seeing on the screen, for a year like this year, 2024, where they have to fill the gap somewhere? And I say yes. And were they concerned, and is Disney concerned from an action figure perspective, or is Sideshow concerned that there's not yet another Flash movie this year, or another, Marvel's movie this year, or another TV show here this year, or that? No. Look at what is number one in a Flash. No pun intended. Absolutely insane. And look, when all hope is lost, they're not going to come out with Han. They're never going to come out with Han Solo. They're never going to come out with another Luke. They're not going to come out with that Bespin Luke. They're not going to come out with Poe Dameran. They're not going to come out with Baze Malbus. They're not going to come out with this. No, they'll never come out with Ra's al Ghul. They'll never come out with Lucius Fox. They'll never come out with a George Clooney Batman. They'll never come out with a Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman. They'll never come out with this. They'll never do another Yondu. They'll never do Drax, even though they showed it. Listen. Don't lose hope, baby. Keep brewing the coffee and keep your darn expectations high. Here's the best advice that I can give you. You want to enjoy life? Whatever your favorite baseball team is, whatever your favorite football team is, whatever your favorite basketball team is, or hockey team is, you go to the game and you cheer your butt off. And you invite your friends over, or you go with your friends and they're in the playoffs, or they're in a sudden death game that has playoff implications, or they're in the Super Bowl, or they're in the World Series. Why do you think people cheer, baby? Why do you think they go outside of their crazy? And you know what? They may win or they may lose, but that is what it is all about. And we're big kids playing with toys. And if they don't know, particularly Howard Chan, if he doesn't know that we want Han Solo, maybe we won't get Han Solo. How many times did at least this channel creator put Han Solo on the banner in 2023? Time after time after time after time. What? Not exaggerating. What, 36 times maybe? How many times did I have Mace Windu in 2022 on the banner as well? When you keep showing up to the fight, sure, you could go 0-200, but eventually you're going to win, baby. And let me tell you something right now. This is an epic, fantastic, awesome win. Pause. You're watching the Aries Tarrington Show. Cheers to you, baby. I wonder if this is the 13th Crystal Skull. Anyway, can you tell I'm a little excited? And look, let's talk about number one. Number one. And we'll see how long this is going to be, number one. But, oh, my goodness. My goodness, indeed. You know how many Lokis they come out with? You know how many Tony Starks they come out with? We know how many Iron Mans they come out with. You know how many Christian Bales they come out with? How many Lukes they came out with lately? Is this the start now for Harrison Ford and Hot Toys figures of Harrison Ford to come out like Loki, to come out like Elizabeth Olsen, the Scarlet Witch, to come out like the Gal Gadot Wonder Woman, to come out like, you know, Christian Bale, to come out like Mark Hamill and Luke Skywalker, to come out like Tamora Morrison. And I say, yes. Not quite like Tamora Morrison, but like Loki and some of those other ones. Yeah, because let me tell you, they've they got the license now. They've got the license now. And I told you, and listen, I knew that Han Solo was coming. The Hot Toys wizard knew that Han Solo was coming. But this is not the last version of Han Solo that is going to be coming. Once they go ahead and they get those agreements, they got Harrison Ford to probably not only sign off on the new Indiana Jones figure, they've got him to sign off, obviously, on this figure. Probably a couple of younger versions of Indiana Jones as well. And probably an Empire Strikes Back version of Han Solo as well. Probably not only the one you're thinking of that goes with Leia, but quite possibly a Hoth Tauntaun version of Han Solo as well. Don't think that an artisan one, he has the hair, couldn't be down the road as well for Harrison Ford. And don't think for a minute that Howard Chan, J.C. Hong, and Hot Toys You have to ask yourself, while they had Harrison Ford's attention, did they take care of the 50th anniversary of A New Hope? Did they want to go through this again? Harrison Ford is getting older. Things can be getting harder. Do they have like a production line, a R&D and development that's going to be released in waves? Again, look at all the Lokis that they come out with, all the Tony Starks that they come out with, all the Scarlet Witches that they come out with. Recently, how many of the Lukes that they come out with? Are they going to do the same with this Harrison Ford? Are they going to do the same like with Natalie Portman? And I say, yes. This is the start. This is the start. And for Star Wars fans, you think Loki fans, Marvel fans, need to have the different versions of Loki? Let me tell you about Star Wars fans. Also, equally, would love the different versions of Han Solo from The Return of the Jedi, from The Empire Strikes Back, and from A New Hope. And I'm telling you right now, gosh, and don't rule out a version of Han Solo from The Rise of Skywalker. Look, that head sculpt from The Force Awakens is outstanding. And now you got this head sculpt from the older Indiana Jones from the film in 2023. And you have to wonder, would they go ahead and put out something from The Rise of Skywalker and give us yet another sequel, Han Solo? And I say yes. But why? Because, what have I been saying? More and more announcements, but less production of such announcements. Say what you want about The Rise of Skywalker and all the controversy from The Last Jedi. It made over $1 billion. Okay? And then think of all the controversy, okay, with Ezra Miller and The Flash, and how much of a box office disaster that was. And if they could come out with figures, 2 different versions of The Flash, and they can come out with characters like Gore from Love and Thunder and some of these other secondary characters that aren't very, very popular. Could they do a Harrison Ford Han Solo with a limited quantity from $1 billion movie like 1,500 or 2,000 from an older Han Solo from Rise of Skywalker? And I say, frack yes. It's just numbers, common sense, logic, and they already got the R&D. So I say, it's coming. It's coming. If you're thinking in the past and you got you're thinking of the way things used to be, well, they really don't got 10,000 of those. People, well, no kidding. Honestly, right now in this economy, there's not really 10,000 of anything that people have money for, which is why even with, you're seeing so much of this with the Ben Affleck Batman from The Flash and the Michael Keaton Batman and from 1989 and so many others. Why are they going out so quick? There's not enough juice in the peach, baby, in the lemon. Okay? It is a volatile global economy for sure, which means the door is open for all possibilities. And speaking of which, and I know you've been waiting for it. I know it's first and foremost on your mind. Boy, this figure, this new Han Solo, sure goes good. Sure goes good with these characters right here, baby. And we got to see 3PO last year and Salacious Crumb. And we got Vader. Now we got Han. And you know what I'm going to say here, but pause. You're watching the Aries Tarrington show. Cheers. Simply delicious. So, would they ever come out with a Prisoner Leia to commemorate the life of Carrie Fisher? To celebrate her desire to play this part proudly from Return of the Jedi. And there's a lot of misinformation out there and a lot of BS, quite frankly. Because I'm going to go ahead and pull up from StarWars.com, owned by Disney, and the front page. When you go ahead and pull up the Return of the Jedi from the official database and website, the first thing that they pull up on the poster is exactly what she adorned in the darn film, which is exactly that. So you have to ask yourself if it's okay to put this on the official website and still show the poster and have it out there to see. They're clearly not hiding it or disguising it. Is it possible that a niche, and follow me, use your brain, use common sense, that a niche high-end toy company could come out with a figure like this? And I say yes. And I'm telling you, Aries are not going to come out with any more Han Solos. Aries are not going to come out with any more Lukes. Aries, they're not going to come out with Leia. They're not going to come out with this. Baby, you're right. But what I'm seeing right now, baby, is they're coming out with every single thing imaginable. And if you think Han Solo went to number one, you have to wonder, would Leia, with this outfit, go to number one in probably quicker fashion? And I say yes. I'm telling you, I see a Lando coming looking at this right here. Aries is still in stock. They actually came out with an artisan, Elizabeth Olsen, and we got how many of those in stock? They don't care. They do. They do. God. I really believe that this is going to be coming out, that there is a strong possibility of this particular epic figure right here to come out. And if it was commemorating Carrie Fisher, it absolutely would be appropriate and really nice for them to do that. And there's so many ways that they could do this. I spoke about it before. You could actually come out with a DX, okay? Or and even an artisan Leia, it would be really expensive, but would have multiple outfits where, just like they did with this Han Solo, where he has multiple outfits as well, with the trench coat and without it, that you could see right here, that you could take off one of her outfits and that would be underneath, or what they could absolutely do it. It would make complete sense to me for sure. And I would absolutely spill my darn coffee over that. It would be completely epic. And listen, if you like what you're watching here, I'm just so. If you want to join the channel, join it. I talk about it in my videos. You've probably seen it. Go ahead and take the plunge. It's cheaper in most places than a dozen eggs, baby, than a quart of half and a half, baby, than a gallon of gasoline, baby. And this one's already recorded, and this one's going to be going up, and you're not going to want to miss this. Not only do we really talk about who's better in art or Hot Toys, and we look at this Joker, that's been kind of beat to death, but I'm going to take it from a different stance. And we're going to talk about both of those companies and everything else, and how they relate to one another, how they compare. Is it fair to compare? Was it even fair to compare the new in-art Joker with the old Hot Toys Joker? What about the new Hot Toys Joker with the in-art Joker? What about J&D compared to the in-art and the Hot Toys Joker? Does it matter who's better? Is one that has problems mean that the other one is not? You see a Superman there that some people thought was perhaps needed some work, and you see a Supergirl there that perhaps some people thought needed some work. Is it like comparing Pepsi and Coke? Is it like comparing something like that? You're not going to want to miss this. Go ahead and click on the little join button. See everything that becoming a Cantina Insider, which is a channel member, comes with. And I really appreciate your support, baby. Thank you so much. I love this. Stay tuned for more. I'm going to be bringing the Aries Tarrington show live many times with drops like this. Again, my apologies. I couldn't go live. I know many of you were looking, what does Aries think? Here you go. It's just been a little bit crazy with work and personal life this week. And I couldn't get away. But here you go now, my friends. And I don't always spill coffee with stuff like this, but when I do, I do it right here at the 6 Scale Cantina. Stay thirsty, my friends.